Good morning, everybody. And it says you are live, and it's true, I am. Okay, so I'll do a quick review of yesterday, and then maybe we'll double back to it a little later on in the day. And yesterday, we came off of that macro-induced sell-off where we hit the 63.60, which happened to be pretty much the bottom of the weekly expected move, where we would kind of expect a reaction, and we got one. And I was talking to some other traders about that this morning. Um, we closed above 6,400 on Wednesday, opened in that area, opened above yesterday. We had the IC whale yesterday, and as a quick reminder, IC whale does large trades. Um, those tend to set the edges for the day, and he was at 64.45 short call, and he was at 64.375 short put. So those were the edges. Remember, we came from that wide day, and we kind of chopped in that zone. We overtook his short his call strike. Early in the session. That was a good time to take a short. I know Bad Hombre did, Chewy did, and it worked. Um, Uncharacteristically, he closed the trade out at around 2 o'clock, right around here, and that removed a lot of the gamma, and we kind of moved all the way down to 64.15. Quick question statement about that, and this will be something that's going to be going out to my elite, premium, whatever we call it, platinum subscribers. There's a lot of intraday trades that come out that reset the edges. And that's something that's kind of a little bit labor intensive, and updates about that will be coming out periodically when they're at least one or two a day, periodically when they're relevant. Sometimes they're not relevant, in which case I'm not going to create extra work for myself. And there's always a running commentary on that in the in the voice chat. Okay, so fast forward to today. We have a new whale in place today. As far as I can tell, not the IC whale, but somebody sold, and we're going to look at it in a minute, big iron condor position at 15 short, I believe it is. I should probably move this down to here, whatever. And at 75 long call, a short call strike, only 5 wide, so they can be overrun, but they definitely set the edges for us to kind of think about conceptually. I know I talk fast, so you have to listen fast, because I think fast. Um, Listen fast, that's a joke. Where's the laugh track? Okay. That said, local trades that come in, when I say local, I mean people buying puts at 35 or calls at 65, are going to shape the landscape intraday, in the morning, and throughout the day. Quick look at the landscape here, and then I'm going to turn it over to the Cowboy Punk. He's going to talk a little bit about some of the Mancini level scalping. He's going to talk quick. He's got to go. And I'll screen share, and that's going to be a feature in that platinum, elite, premium tier, whatever it's called. There's going to be a channel that's going to roll out today, I think, that's going to have enter at your own risk, because it's going to be memes. It's going to be off color, politically incorrect jokes as traders sit around waiting for setups. In addition to Chewy's more structured, Bad Hombre's more structured voice channel. So that other channel will be another one there that's going to be a work in progress that's going to evolve. These are traders I've traded alongside with for years, different approaches, some of them gamma, some of them volatility based, some of them TA based. And so for those that want to learn, it'll be a good place to learn So I'm just kind of letting you all know that. Okay, back on to where we are. So we're around 64.50, right? Let's take a quick check. Yeah, so we're around 64.50, which I identified as the kind of the pivot or the inflection point for the day. And I guess that would be 64.60 ES. I think we're about 10-point difference. And so what's the path? If 64.50 holds, the path is towards 65, which I didn't even look, but I'm going to guess that was the overnight high-ish. Stall if we get to before we get to this iron condor mean reverting resistance. Mean reverting means as we go up, it sells off, but as we come down, it gets pulled back. Along with the 64.50 where we are now, same story. As we go down, it bounces off. As we move away, it gets pulled back. Once below 64.50, and this can get kind of choppy. It doesn't have, it's not like rocket science to like the penny. But if we kind of stay below this, then you see this kind of a void all the way down to the next big feature over here, 64.15. So we could expect as we come down here, I kind of said 64.25-ish, you should see a local bounce effect from here, creating a second zone between 15, 20, 25, and 50-ish. So two main zones, lower zone, main chop zone, and then if we get above 64.80-ish, there's local, selling at 60, above 6,500, 64.95, whatever. Considering that's the all-time high, and considering we have NFP tomorrow, it's hard to imagine that we go up there. Doesn't mean we can't. I just am willing to say it's a higher probability we don't, and that we stay within this range. There's a heat map. I'll go into that in a minute. I'm going to share my boys. Now this is an E-mini chart. I'm going to give Punklandia the stage for a couple of minutes just to talk about some of the scalping he does, failed breakdown, blah blah blah, whatever it is, and that'll be in the room, and he'll, when we get that set up, he'll be in there at different points doing his scalps as well. Go ahead, you're on.
Yeah, so hi everybody. What I do is deceptively looking very simple, but it's not. Basically, we scalp ES. Now, to go really brief on the introduction, as you know, Delta 1 future scalping is not like selling spreads like Doc. It's much more dangerous. It's much more intuitive. It's much more risky. So you have to have a very defined risk-based edge, which we answer with the Mancini method. Now, if you don't know what it is, once we have the channel up, you'll have all the guides and you'll know how to do everything, how to manage risk, blah, blah, blah. But for today, because I'm going to keep it brief, looking at the chart that Doc is sharing there, that's my chart, you'll see that basically we had a range that we kind of broke down last week. The range was 61, basically. We broke it down last week. We got the failed breakdown a few days ago. We pumped up yesterday. We got to 61, where it's basically 64.50 SPX. We got there. We got rejected hard. And then late day, as expected, after every big sell, we get the short squeeze. So 3:30 p.m., ba-ba-boom. So Doc will tell you it was, near the money trading charm, all of which is true, but it still gave us our core setup, the failed breakdown, which took us up 30 points. That's where I got in long. The question of the day is, did we break 61? Yes, we did. Now the question is, do we hold it or we dip lower? If we dip lower, I will engage in any of the setups you see on my chart, depending on what we get. If not,
so quick, let me jump in there. What's your sweet spot long enter for today? I see you have your notes here.
So the sweet spot, I'll never tell you because the whole point of the system is each and one of these boxes of texts is a setup. The market, I don't know which one we'll get or if we'll get any, but if we get any of those ones, those text boxes are the instructions on how to engage said level. So, and of course, when we get that level, that doesn't mean this is the low or this is the reversal. It means there's a high probability of that level, if it reclaims, will indeed give you a level to level move. So what will happen is I'll take my long, I'll first level up, second level up based on momentum. I'll trim 75% and leave the rest to run, just like I did yesterday on the 3:30 p.m. failed breakdown. So at that
Okay,
point,
now let me interrupt for a second there.
yeah,
And as they're sitting around waiting for this to happen, the stupid memes are going and the locker room trash talk is going as the hunters are sitting in their hunter blind waiting for something to come by to shoot. Go ahead.
exactly. We're sharpening our knives, getting bored out of our asses because this job basically means be 23 hours a day ready for a 10-minute trade. But when it comes, it's a banger. So it's very different than what, and I like to tell that to listeners who don't know the difference. It's really unlike what Doc is doing, which isn't to say there's better or wrong. It depends, it depends on personal style and whether you can be here and whether you can do it, blah, blah, or you can do both, right? Doc, I think you followed us on the mini ES's trade early in the morning yesterday for the
Yeah,
first
yeah, yeah,
trade.
yeah. I made some good money. I made some
Yeah,
good money.
it
I
was fun.
stopped in and talked to these delinquents and made some good money.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And then we had actually a pretty good day considering I thought I wouldn't be trading any at all, according to the chart. Then we got that one early that we did. I think it was pre-market. And then I just sat there all day sending stupid memes until we got the long trigger at 3:30, which was a banger trade. We got 30 points up. I'm very happy about the trade. And I'm still sitting in the runners. My entry was ES 38. So we're at 62, almost 30 points, and I'm still sitting in runners. So for me, for my system, unless we break down under that 61, under 6450 SPX, basically, I won't even be looking to open my platform. If we do get the setup, you guys know what to do with the chart. And otherwise, runners. That's the whole system. The real trend, the real money comes from that surprise trend that comes after every, like, let's say 10 failed breakdowns where we pump 120, 100 points stupid and we wait for the next flush. And while we wait, we send stupid memes, mostly about gender pronouns. That's our favorite.
Okay.
So I'm gonna head off, you guys. I got my kids coming in from school. I'm in Europe. Feel free to use my chart. It auto updates every day. I myself update it. And when the channel will be up and running, we'll put all the guides and live scalping channels and all the goodies for our premium subscribers and blah, blah, blah. So be there or be square. We're going to have a lot of fun. Thanks very much. So I'm going to
Okay.
sign off, Doc. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, and as somebody observed, yes, he's using indicators from Kill Pips, from Mancini, from
Yes.
different
Yes.
things. It's yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we're actually, I said we weren't going to say anything, but we're actually having a super think tank that we're coming up. One of the biggest aspects of FBD is the expectance. We'll go into details later. And we're building something really cool to help with that, which a lot of smart people and some full AI are working on. So that'll be exclusive to our members when we get it, but it's still early days. But we got a cool roadmap. Yeah, Kill Pips is great, Darren. I love his stuff.
yeah.
So we'll
And
be
so,
integrating the good parts of
okay,
everything. All right,
so
I'll head off. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you later.
okay, quick word about Kill Pips. So Kill Pips and I were in Mentor Q together, and he kind of went off and started his own thing. I stayed in touch with him. I do some stuff for him. He does some stuff for me. We trade whatever. Haven't had a, really spoken to him or texted with him individually that much lately, but we still maintain a relationship. I respect his stuff. I use it sometime. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of us retail traders that have kind of spun off and done, and done this stuff, kind of like, I don't know, like the Beatles spun off for, like, I don't know, a spin-off band, or maybe we can look at us as Grateful Dead cover bands. I don't know, a whole bunch of Grateful Dead cover bands, whatever analogy you want, and we still collaborate and whatever, so it's great. Good, yeah, exactly, exactly, and I have no problem with that, so to speak. You know what I mean? We all take our stuff and we work together. I'm a big believer in a common welfare should come first, and I try to bring the best of what I can do and the best of what other people can do, and we try to make money together. Go trade a cover band. There you go. Exactly. Let's see what this guy. You guys should have Slayer of NQ on. Yes, I'm not sure who that is, but if you tell me his Twitter feed or whatever it is, and I'll try getting in touch with him. And we also have Boomer, who's kind of part of the crew, who has his own course, something secret sauce, and we're actually supposed to do some kind of presentation together. We just have to line up the time where he kind of has his no lose Frankenstein flies, and we're going to kind of talk about that as well. So meantime, I know we had some numbers. Yeah, we will. NQ is the cancer of the charts. Yeah, I stay away from NQ. That's a beast. I mean, I might trade QQQ, spring trades, whatever. Um, Another person that's going to be part of the crew, Vol Trader, he trades NQ. It scares me. Um, I'll get the whole kill pips thing organized with you guys. That's a whole other story. I'll have to text with him. And he sells his indicators. He has free stuff and proprietary stuff. And actually, we started working on, okay, how do we work together? And we just kind of fell in in the it kind of just like fell in the cracks. NQ is Red Bull, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I don't mess with that. I don't mess with NQ. Vol Trader messes with NQ. A few other people mess with NQ. I stay away from that
Well,
stuff.
that's what we trade in the futures chat.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. He's young. He's 27. He could trade NQ. Yeah. Oh yeah. And you're here, so go ahead. Say a few words.
So, just quickly taking a look at the ES chart here. I'm going to be giving you ES values. I'm really looking for a break below last close, which is 64.57. Call it 64.56, and then I'm expecting a little bit of hesitation after that break, and then I'm really going to be hitting shorts hard.
Down to about what? How many points? 5, 10, 20? What are you looking at? Ish.
To around 440.
Okay. And so if I quickly extrapolate that here, so basically, if under 6450, mean reverting, can't get through that, we have a big void down here until you get into the influence of the 6415, where that influence should start kicking in somewhere around here, around 2530. So the gamma and the method that Chewy is using intersect.
Good.
So that's always good. The more confluence we get, the better.
Definitely. But yeah, I mean, I'm obviously going to play whatever the chart's showing, but I'm expecting a little bit of a downside here today. At least I'd like that.
Okay, and Vol Trader says he'll be back in 5 minutes. He's an NQ guy. He gives me trade ideas. I put them up and I start to shake. I say, wait. how much, So I don't really do that, but he's an NQ guy. Sometimes I bug him to translate it into QQQ. Once in a while, I've taken his trades. They've worked, but they're scary to me. To me, like, oh yeah, trick Van Q. 2 lines of coke and trade 1 tick. And since those days are gone for me, it's just 1 tick. Yeah, yeah. NQ is a whole nother animal, and people make a lot of money with it. I'm not good. So okay. So anyway, we've had some numbers already. We're below this. Like I said, I'm going to wait to see what happens with. Well, I'm not going to wait anything because I'm not a waiter. But when we get the big trades coming in, then we're probably going to get big trades in on top of this iron condors, and we also get some big flies come in and some big debit spreads usually coming in once ranges are reset, within 15 minutes or so, and some of those will be highlighted for everybody. I think 80% of prop firms trade. Yeah, well, I guess that's high risk, high reward, whatever. Like I said, I'm too old for that shit. Um, let's take a quick look at. Oh, also, I have unusual whales, and Dan does a lot of the trades, like using volatility, Z scores, all that kind of stuff for his trades, and he'll be putting that in as well. So we're okay. So let's take a look at the setup here. It says market maker positions in depth view on options depth, and I'll put a link in for them. Um, Here's that iron condor, 12-ish thousand contracts at 75.80. Same 12-ish thousand contracts at 64.15. So those mark the edges. 64.50 is pretty big. It's chunky enough to act as a nice clean inflection point for us. Plus, it's a round number. Very nice setup. Here's a 35 potential stall, but there's stuff right below it. Negative means we're going down, goes Fraser. So below 50, but these numbers are small. If call buyers come in, that stops it. If put buyers comes in, it accelerates it. Unless and until the next tranche of big trades come in, which will be updated, in my server, and some of that information my regular subscribers will get, more nuanced my premium people will get, whatever. It just takes a lot of work, man. It just takes a lot of work. And that's that. Okay, now let's take a quick look at setups for today. I'm a trader. I think with an option chain in my hand. That's just what I do. Oh wow! Look at no, that's non-farm. Remember we have non-farm payroll coming up. Okay, so the big trade is here. So one way to skin the cat would be, you know what? I think these guys aren't so stupid, and the big trade's going to hold. And a 5 wide gives you $1. That's not so shabby. I'll put one in. In big money we trust. Okay, and I put in one lot. See, this is like a demo account, so to speak. Yesterday I tweeted out the one lots I did on TV, like I call it, all paid. I posted the exits, whatever. You could do 1 lots, 10 lots. You could do whatever you want. This for educational purposes. Now below 95, I like selling wide. 45 cents. That's not a bad starter. I'll put in one. Oh, great! Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll put in a 1 lot here, and up on top, 90. That looks good enough to me. What I put in I put in a 15 wide, 90.05 is 55 cents. Wow, they're paying for that. Well, now, if I want to do a wish trade, so a wish trade would be put it in at a price and see if I get it. And a high confidence trade, which is this one here, 90.05, I'm going to put that in for 50 cents and see what happens. Okay. Now let's think about flies. Okay, now to think about flies, I like to go back to here. And a lot of times, like yesterday, I put in flies on the put side, on the call side, they both paid. I don't hold them to the end. That's a whole nother set of flies. This is just kind of, okay, so the main thing about a fly is I want my short strike to be where we stop, my center. And I want my wings to be kind of where we're going to go. So we have an upside fly, say, with a 50 center, maybe so the easy trade, where you don't have to, where it's not rocket science, the easy trade would be something like, that looks fine. $1.40 if you feel like spending. 35 cents, it's going to be kind of hard to monetize, but then you can use that as a building block. Or you can kind of say if, or you could do the if over 50, and we know we should stall before 75 at like 70, something like this, maybe 55, 65, 75, we're going to stall, something like that. Or you could be a cowboy, like I don't mind being, and doing a 5 by a 5 by a 5 by 10. You might take a little heat on that. There's different kind of flies. I'm just going to go with the generic 30 center for now. $30. And the put side is interesting. If we're below 50, right? If we're below 50, we have a path down to 25-ish before we stall. So that one on the put side, I want to be short, maybe the 25 or the 20 even. I like that for 50 cents. I like that for 50 cents. That's a 35, 25, 15. A 10 wide for 15 cents, that's nice. That's nice. If Dan's a good chap, yeah. You know, a lot of us know each other from different trading rooms and stuff. A lot of us know each other. I'm just, I'm like putting together a band like, like the Dead cover bands where they get everybody from the different cover bands, and some might drop in, some might drop out, etc., etc. Okay, Vol Trader, you want to say a couple words, and I'm going to go.
Yeah. Could you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I didn't hear everything you guys said for the last hour or for how long you are, because I had some audio problems. But I want to talk about two things. One is the fact that the IC guy got nailed yesterday. I don't know how you guys interpret. I interpreted that he got stopped on the cold side, and that's why he rolled the position 30 points higher or so. Yesterday he had 43.70 up to he had the 63.70 up to 64.50. And today he has 64.20 up to 64.80. Right? But
Except he
he's
closed out at 35 cents at 1:47 in the afternoon, whatever, 1:45, 2 o'clock. He didn't get stuck.
okay. So the way I see it, if you recall yesterday, the market around the morning, 9 a.m. Chicago was doing its lows for the session, and then it popped up all the way to 64.65 for the high of the
Yep.
session. Yeah, I think that push generated a hedging stop. So either the market, either the bank that received the trade against him, or the IC guy. Either way, the IC rolled up 30, 40 points, right? So I would assume that the second version would be much more successful, or in other words, that today, from an SPX perspective, the market is expected to do very little, like it did yesterday, basically, but even less. But what is playing against the IC is the following. I know you guys don't follow this. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, let me get my stuff off and you can share yours. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me do that. Share screen. Okay, and I'll choose the one I want. So I want this screen 2, I guess. Yes. Okay. So do you see the QQQ layout that I have?
Yep.
Okay, so very important here. Contrary to the SPX, the QQQ has a strong uptrend day potential, contrary to the range-bound potential in the SPX because of the iron condor. Now, the reason for this, if you see carefully, so the columns, which just represents the open interest, clearly show call dominance from 57 and over. We are trading above 57, sorry, 570, yeah? 570 and over, you basically have only call open interest in some little in the money puts, but they are overshadowed already by Delta and shit. So as long as we are above 570 on the Qs will want to run up 5-10 points, right? So the Qs want to run up 1% straight, drifting all day upwards. And, that would be challenged by the IC radiation that depresses volatility and, makes a range bound. So these two dynamics are conflicting. If you get some super news on any one of those techs, Tesla, Apple, whatever, Google shit, then the Qs will try to run, and they're going to challenge the SPX call side again today. So pretty interesting stuff, I think. These two cannot, so either one wins, right? They cannot live together. And so that's why I think that even if you never even followed the Qs or that, I think today is the day that it's worthwhile to follow that and to make sure that as long as we are above 60, that potential for a 1% run up on the Qs, on the NQ, on the NDX, call it whatever you want, is there. That potential is there. And what's also interesting in the Qs is that if you focus your eyes on the sigmas, on those red and green waves in the background, their tops are pretty much equal in terms of whatever value they represent. Doesn't matter right now. And those deflate, right? Those are, let's say, those represent something similar to the charm. So those deflate and generate even more either positive or negative delta. So as long as we're above 570, all that red sigma in the background deflates to zero and pushes
Yep.
the market up.
Yep. I like that.
Yes. So bottom line, IC was rolled. We all see that, and QQQs are positioned and expecting an uptrend. of 1% or 3.25% somehow, whatever. But the key level here, 570, 569 should be an alert level for anyone trading and that considers his financial health. So that's what I have to add.
Great, thanks. And Vol Trade is going to be in that enter at your own risk channel. And we were talking before the market opened. Now, what he's doing and what Punk is doing is not exactly the same as what I'm doing. And so it's a chance for people to learn different methods or not, or just to watch, whatever it is. And, you know, the more confluence I could find, the better, you know. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to point that out. All right, I'm gonna hop and go see if I can catch Valsigs because I haven't caught him in a while, and I'm gonna tweet Kill Pips and give him a shout out. And yeah, that's it.
Okay,
All
All
right.
right,
good stuff.
everybody. Good luck
Thank
today.
you. Good luck.